Hey, hey, hey. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Happy Thursday evening to you. And this is Kim with Crafting with Kim. And I am live again, Facebook, YouTube, and both my Facebooks. This is new for me. I'm using StreamYard for the first time, so might have a couple of technical glitches, but hopefully everything will go okay. But I just wanted to come on tonight and share a fun little art lesson with you related to Memorial Day. We are going to be making a little flag heart, okay? It's actually made out of wood. This is just a simple little guy from the Dollar Tree, but I'll show you how to make it look kind of antique look. And we're going to get started in a couple minutes. I do have a friend that's going to be joining us soon, just to kind of hang out and chat with me as I go through this and ask some questions, and we'll talk a little bit about Memorial Day. So staying tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, so I got me a fancy little intro now. I love that little guy, little bebop. So anyway, like I said, I'm Crafting with Kim, and I do online and in-person craft and paint parties and classes. And I'm so glad that you guys are tuning in tonight. And as you come on, I would really appreciate it if you would comment, you would give me some likes. If you're on YouTube, give me some subscriptions down below, and just, show me some love. I'm all kind of getting my feet wet with this thing, and I'm ready to rock this and show you guys some really fun things. But besides that, let's go ahead and get started so we don't waste much more time on trying to do what we actually came here to do, which is teach fun art. All right. So I'm going to take you down below and show you what's going on here. All right. So you see my little messy craft table. Like I said, this is basically a piece of balsa wood, I believe it is. And they're just little simple dollar pieces. It's like $1 at the Dollar Tree, of course. And I figure, like, since it's Memorial Day this weekend coming up, we'll do something that's related to that. So the first thing that we need to do is, let me see, I'm going to get up here to my comments, guys, so I can see what's going on. And like I said, as you come on, I would really appreciate if you guys would say hello, send me some comments, and show me some love, tell me where you're from, all that happy stuff. All right, and let's see, getting back to this. So like I said, the first thing, of course, is just a plain piece of wood. It had the little string on it. I took the string off. We can add that later if you want to use it as a door hanger, hang it on your wall, whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so let me see. What's the first thing we got to do? Oh, first thing we got to do is we have to separate our blue and our red colors, okay? So the way we're going to do that is basically, I'm repurposing my tape here I used for another project, but you're going to take some blue tape like this. You want it to be blue tape that works, or the green frog tape works really well. Now, how to get a straight line on this thing, you want to look here. Let me see if I get a little closer. I think you guys are pretty good. You want to see right here, in your center here where your heart, your two humps come together, you want to try to get that right in there, and you want to line it up with the point. Actually, I'm on the wrong side because I'm going to do the red first. I could have done the blue first, but I'm going to do the red first. Anyway, so yeah, once again, you're going to line it up about in the center there, and to get it nice and straight, you're going to line it up with that point, okay? And then you just run your finger up there. You want to get a nice tight seal on that, because you don't want the paint to seep through on the other side. Now, if it does seep through, it's not a huge deal because you can actually paint it over with the blue, but we're trying to avoid that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my my brush. Now, I'm using a few brushes tonight, different types of brushes. This is just a flat 3/4 inch brush. It's kind of one of my favorites that I like to use. And I will be using a little liner brush when we get to the point where we're doing the lettering. And you can also use a marker with that too. So, but we'll show you that as we go along. Oh, Medio, hey. Didn't get the notification in time. Had to go to your page. Good to see you. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I hope you like this little guy. I hope you're into, like, being a patriot and sharing. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about Memorial Day as we go along. I did some little fun facts on that, but I was talking about brushes. So like I said, I got a flat 3/4 inch brush here that I'm going to be using for the bigger areas. I've got my little stencil brush that we'll be using down the way. That's just a little flat guy. Also works really super well. I didn't have any, but I'm going to get some for next time. Is cosmetic sponge brushes. And if you don't know what those are, then you can look it up, or I can tune in next time and I'll show you. And then just like I said, a simple liner brush that I'll be using when we do the lettering. Or like I said, we can actually use a paint marker for that, but I'll show you with the lettering because most people don't have paint markers. Also, when it comes time to doing the vintage kind of age look, we're going to be using this. It's just a basic old chip brush. It's pretty beat up, you can see, but it actually, with the bristles like this, it works really good for the effect we're going to do. All right, so let's go ahead and get these base coats on. All right. Oh, I almost messed up. I actually did something that I shouldn't have done. I'm glad I caught that. So before I paint it, see, I need to look at my own work. Another thing I need to do is put a line down here. I have to sort of like center that as well. I'm just eyeballing this. If you wanted to measure it, you could, but I'm doing a simple eyeball because this is going to create the other stripe here. This is going to be your stripe here. We're actually just going to be using the bare wood color on that. Okay, so put that down real good like that. Now we can paint with that red. All right, so I chose, I think this one here is a little bit darker tone red, but you know, any red tone will work is just fine. And basically you can see I'm just kind of painting it. Now this wood is very porous. In other words, super dry, and it sinks in really fast. So you'll notice that you might have to put a couple coats on. It depends on how it looks once you get it on. And you know, actually, I do like to do the edges. You want to paint your edges, make them look nice. Kind of just makes it look a little cleaner. All right. So yeah, so like I said, this is all about Memorial Day, and I don't know, are there any veterans out there? I'm actually a veteran, and of course Memorial Day is not just about veterans. Anybody actually know what Memorial Day is about? What is the I mean, it's a lot of times people think it's picnics and hanging out at the beach and, you know, cookouts and all that kind of good stuff, but the real purpose of Memorial Day, or what it should be about, is has to do with our fallen veterans, our soldiers who lost their lives during war. And so it's really great that we do honor them here in America for their service. You know, it really is should be a rather somber holiday. But like I said, because it's kind of the beginning and kickoff in spring, people see it as a holiday too, for like hanging out and getting outside. But let's always remember what the purpose of it is for. Oh, thank you for my service. I was actually in the Navy back in the 80s, a long time ago, many moons ago. And I worked on the flight line. I worked with aircrafts. So that was fun. Okay, see how quick that was? I just pulled that right off there. And we got a nice little clean line. And I'm going to do the same over here. Ta-da! Yay! Cool, huh? All right, now, pondering. How do we get the blue to look the same? We're going to do all solid blue on this side because we're going to end up putting the stars on there. But how do we get a nice clean line this way as well? Okay, first thing, you want to make sure your paint is dry. This dries like really crazy fast because, like I said, the wood soaks in really quickly. But you do not want to make sure that it's not going to have, it's got to be totally dry is what I'm trying to say. So, Papa, I'm going to, cover your ears. I'm going to put a little bit of dry on this with my heat gun because we have to tape this side. Okay, that's pretty much all it took. Just a little bit of tuck right there. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do just the opposite. See how smart I am? We're going to take this and we're going to put it on the red side. And see why the paint had to be dry? Because we don't want to pull the paint up. Okay. Same thing. We're just going to make it nice. And actually, you know what? The thing to do with this is put your tape. It might sound odd, but put it just a little bit so that the red is exposed, because what you're going to find happens is the blue can overlap the red just a smidge, and you won't have that line with the wood showing through. Okay, thank you. So let's see if I got that nice and straight. And like I said, if there is anything showing, we'll just fix it, put a little touch up on there. Okay, so now go ahead and take my blue. And we're just, like I said, now, before I paint the blue, I'm going to show you there's two different methods that you could actually do for these stars. The first one I actually did, believe it or not, I hand drew these stars. I'm not really good at drawing stars. For some reason, I'm always like a little funky with these stars. But, oops, my paintbrush. Breaking my rule, by the way, you should always put your paint in water. But since I'm going to be using it right away, I'm going to leave it out because I've already loaded it up. But anyway, like I said, two things that you can do with the stars. You can actually hand draw them and go around them, which was really a pain in the rear because I did not have a stencil form at the time and I just was winging it. Or here's another little idea I thought. You could actually take like stickers, okay? Place your stickers, because see, what I was trying to do, to tell you the truth, is I was trying to keep the stars the same color as the stripe over here. But I've come to realize that it's not that big of a deal to do. But if a person really wanted to do that, you could take these stickers and just place your stars up on here and then just run your paint over it and then pull all your stickers up. Okay. But an even, I believe, simpler way is we're going to use a handy dancy stencil. So this happens to be, what the heck, I got stuck on the back there, a little bit of a Q-tip. All right, so this happens to be a multi-star stencil. Where did this come from? Anybody want to tell me? Amedio? Dollar Tree. Yes, this is from the Dollar Tree. I couldn't believe I actually found a star stencil at the Dollar Tree. Okay, so yes, so that's what we were going. We're actually going to apply the stars on top of the blue after we're done. Okay, so the coloring is going to be a little bit different, but I found a tone that's real close, so it'll all work out. All right, so now back to painting the blue side. So yeah, we're just going to run the blue paint over this whole area. All right. By the way, I'm hoping that my friend Anita is going to be popping on here relatively soon. She said that she would just come and hang out with me so we can interact. Like I said, I'm on a new platform. It's called StreamYard, and it does allow me to have guests. So if there's anybody out there that would like to come on and ask me any questions or just like hang out with me while I'm painting, it really makes it a lot more fun and interactive for me and, for you. I mean, I'm not going to force you to do anything. I'm just sitting there and talk to me and we can chat. But we are live. We are live streaming. Like I said, this is a platform that goes to Facebook, and it goes to, right now I have it hooked up on Facebook and my YouTube channel, which I just created my new YouTube channel, which is Crafting with Kim. So you can find me on both of those, and I'm trying to get this sucker. So you can see I'm actually touching this paint up here too on the edges. Okay, now let me see. What were some of the other things I was going to talk about here? Oh, I did want to mention that I don't know, nobody probably really missed me last week, but last Thursday, I actually had a really, really awesome time. I had a paint party. An in-person paint party in my local area here, and I had like 19 ladies show up. It was a blast. It was just real. It was a nice big crowd, but it went super well. And I'm hoping that they're going to have me back. And that's what I love to do. I love to interact with the people. And if anybody in this particular area around DeLand, Florida, or within the region of an hour wants to do something in person, I'm all for that too. Online, in person, all that good stuff. I love being around the interactive of the people. So I'm going to take it back down below. Yeah, it was actually really fun, Amelia. The ladies, I'll share some pictures with you, lady. Actually, if you go on my Crafting with Kim site and look at the post on there, you'll see some photographs. And the ladies actually were, most of them, majority of them, except for I think maybe like 3 or 4, they were all first-time painters. So the type of things that I paint with them are very simple. And they turned out really well. They actually, some of them were still a little bit intimidated. I find that people that are not used to painting, they're kind of scared to paint. Like they think it's some big deal, and it's literally just paint and we're just having fun. So there's no point in stressing out about the thing. If you mess up, you paint over it or you start over or whatever. It's not the end of the world. So I encourage everybody to paint and to explore their creative side. All right, back to the heart. All right, see, okay, got the blue. As it's turning out, I only really need 1 coat because thinking about it, this is supposed to be kind of like an aged look anyway. It's kind of vintage. So I'm going to just go ahead and pull that line off there and see how clean it got. Didn't do too bad. I got a little bit of white, or not the white, but the wood color coming through that red right there. I mean, I could leave that if I wanted to, but me and my little anal self, I'll probably end up, I think I'm just going to kind of line that up and hopefully I won't mess it up too bad. But if you do that, you can take, if you have a little air right there, if you take the edge of this brush, believe it or not, just the very, very edge, it's pretty clean if you got a new one, which these are, and just do a quick little line right there. This kind of fixes that up real quick. Yeah, this wood's kind of easy to work with. Okay, so there, that takes care of that because that little thing would stick out and drive me crazy. Okay, so there we go. All right, like I said, once again, if you're just coming on, my name is Kim, and it's Crafting with Kim, and I do in person and online craft and paint classes and parties. And by the way, I just wanted to put a little blip out too for those that want to pop on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually doing back-to-back lives. My friend Anita, who hopefully is going to show up tonight, said that we're going to do a co-paint. We basically, her and I are going to be painting here on the same platform together. We're going to be painting the same image. We got a really fun, do I have it around? No, I put it aside. It's a really fun, like beachy tiki scene with margaritas and the whole deal. It's really kind of a cute little guy. And it's something that, once again, if somebody wanted me to do an online class with them, we can get you hooked up with that, and we can paint together, and I'll show you how to paint it. You can paint your own. But her and I are going to be co-painting tomorrow night, and that'll be a lot of cool. That'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys will tune in and check that out. All right, now back down again. Here we go. So heart. Okay, looking pretty good so far. Let's see how dry my blue is. For the sake of timing, I'm going to go ahead and pop a little heat on this guy too. I don't think that's going to be too loud for you. Okay, looks like that's about it. That's all I need. Let's see. I was going to say something else too. Oh, about the Memorial Day. Facts about Memorial Day. Hold on. I got to get my, there we go. Get my heat gun put away. I don't need these. Get those out of the way. And I can put this aside too. Oh, well, no, I'll tell you about that later. Let me not get too sidetracked. Me and my blonde, I'll get too sidetracked. By the way, Amelia, if you're still there, can you tell me about the volume, especially on the music? I've got some background music going, and I want to make sure that it's not too loud or that you can hear it. I like to have the music. I've mentioned that a couple times, and if it's too distorting or if it's an issue, I'll go ahead and turn the music off. But if not, I'm going to keep it on because I think it helps create a little bit better atmosphere. So let me know if the music's okay. All right, back down here. Get my thingy out of the way here. So you can see. All right, so I don't even remember why I had this. I don't think I need this for this particular. No, this is for something else. Okay, So we got our heart flag pretty much basic, got the basics on it. Let's go ahead and put our stars on. Okay. Now you can see what I did. Why do I have this blue tape on here? Anybody want to, oh, good. I'm glad the music's okay. Anybody want to tell me why I might have the tape on this stencil like this? Okay. Well, the reason I actually do this is because these are the size. I got 3 of them here. Actually, there's one more here of that I want to use of the stars. That's the word. It's a star. And I wanted to cover up around that because I don't want the little stars coming through on the other side or coming through when I start pouncing this thing. So I'm just going to kind of do this randomly. Once again, I'm laying the stencil on top of the blue, and I'm just going to start. You want to hold your stencil down. Let me get a little closer. I know I've got a glare going on, big time glare going on there right now. All right, let me lower this down a little bit more. If I can get it down. Well, that's what I get for tightening things too darn tight. There we go. If that helps a little bit. Still a little bit of a glare, but you can see what I'm doing here is I'm basically putting the star stencil, the stars on the blue here. And I'm going to take, here's what you do with this. Now, some of you, not to paint smaller. I'm not sure what you mean by that, not to paint smaller. Explain yourself on that one, video. Okay, so once again, I've got my my little, this is a flat, you want a blunt end on your brush. These are actually made for that. Oh, the stars. Yeah, not to paint the smaller stars. Right, I got you. Okay, great. So what you want to do is your paint, the one thing you don't want to do is have a big glob of paint on there. You want to have a very, very little paint. That's why I wish I would have got the cosmetic sponges because they work like a champ, but this will work too. But you don't really want to have a glob of paint. What you want to do is what's called offloading. So you want to take some of it off because less is more in this case. You want to build up. You want to just have a little bit. And we're kind of going for like age look anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So you can see here basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pounce this, basically just go straight down with it. Okay, that might even be a little bit too much paint there. Okay, see how this one looks. And not since this is going to be just one coat, kind of age, I'm just doing one coat on it. Well, there we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look? And you tell me, man, I got a good eye, huh? Those colors are almost identical from the actual wood color to the color of that paint. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm good sometimes. I really am. All right, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a few more stars just randomly on here. Of course, you want to be careful when you're doing this. Oh, one thing to do too is when you go to do your paint again, you can use the same, don't go into your big blob of paint either. Go on the side, like I said, and just do a little bit. This goes a long, long way when you're doing this. And make sure you get your little points on these, on this little star. And so I guess I'll go ahead and do all 3 of these. One thing you want to keep in mind too is when you're doing this one, of course, you're doing like an all over pattern all over it. So make sure that, you're not laying your stencil down when your paint's too wet. Although this is a pretty dry brush situation, so you shouldn't really have too much of an issue if you do lay it over there. But let's see how we're looking. Oh, how beautiful. Yay. Now, let's see. I'm going to put one up here. I'm just going to kind of maybe do the one by itself. Once your brush does get to the point where it needs more, then once again, you dip it in there, but always make sure you offload. Otherwise, you could have a big old blop and it'll start seeping underneath and it won't be a nice clean stencil. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I chose the stencil way, because I think even with the star stickers, it would have been a little bit of a hot mess because you'd have to paint around and get in those stickers and all that happy jazz. But this is definitely the way to go. Oh, I got a little blip there. No worries. I'll just put a little blue paint over that. But see, that's what I was talking about, is to make sure that you're not getting on your overlapping onto your areas. Sometimes the stencil paint will go through on the back a little bit. So it is probably a good idea to kind of take a peek every once in a while and make sure that it's nice and clean. Let me see. I'll put one over here. I'm gonna do 2 right here. I'll use these 2 right here. Oops. Nice and clean. It's not too messy. Hey, I got another one on. All right, Jamie, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. So as you're coming on, I'd really appreciate you leaving comments and you're joining. So this is kind of cool, this platform, because I can see where everybody's tuning in from. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to have too many YouTubers right now since I've just started YouTube, but I can see you from Facebook, which is really, really cool. And thank you so much for joining in. I know you missed the beginning, but basically what I'm doing, Jamie, is creating like this little patriotic flag heart for Memorial Day, kind of a Memorial Day thing. So yeah, tell me, like I said, you got any questions, comments, please let me know, and I'll see what I can my best to answer it for you. Like I said, I got to look at a few more stars on here. So Jamie, where are you actually from? You still there? Still with me? Okay. I am just so loving this. This is so freaking cool. All right, cool. There we go. I've got a few more right here to do. Hey, my baby just joined me with your weed eater. Bringing in the weed eater. My studio is a she shed, guys. It's a she shed. We share it. Robert and I both share the shed. Right. We share it. He's got his tool side. I got my art side. Love you too, boo. All right. All right. There we go. You have a lot on and off, but you did not notice it because you're busy. Oh, okay. I didn't notice it. Well, I guess because I'm not scrolling down, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I said, on this one, okay, I'm trying to see, I'm looking at my comments. I'm taking a second to look at my comments. It actually, right now, I can't tell how many people are actually on. I guess I'll have to do a little bit more techie research on that. All I can see is the comments for the moment. But thank you, Amelia, for telling me. I need you to kind of be my monitor from now on. I'll get you on here and you can be the one to answer my questions and stuff. I guess I maybe need a producer with my show, right? I've been doing a lot of research on live streaming and proper ways to do it. And some of these people that are doing all these live stream shows, they actually have a producer in the background that answers their questions and helps them out so that the person can actually focus on what they're doing, what their subject matter is. Because especially when you're in the crafts, you do get busy, caught up in what you're doing. Oh, paint his weed eater with flowers all over it. Oh my God. Yeah, that would be cute. That's actually a good idea. But the problem is that it would be trash with the next use because, believe me, he's a dirty boy. He likes to get himself up he works in a plumbing roto-rooter, and he's digging in ditches and everything all day. So he gets things dirty easily. Not by choice, just because of the type of work he does. He's a hard worker. But anyway, okay. So I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I got enough stars on there? Or should I add a couple more? Yeah, he would be shot with the flowers. He actually really is a pretty good artist himself, but he won't do anything. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good with the stars. Anybody see a hole? I could see maybe one up here, but I think I'm going to leave it because if I put one up there, I think it's going to kind of throw the balance off a little bit. So I'll leave it like that. Perfect. Okay, Medias is perfect. All right, so I do need to touch up that little bit of blue spot there where I've got my stencil. I had a little stencil swipe, but that's all done. Oh, like I said, this turned out so good. So pleased. I really wasn't sure if this color was going to do well, but it really did. Okay, all right, so that's done. That's going to be drying in like 2 snaps. All right, so the next thing, like I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you what the next thing is, and we'll work, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Memorial Day, because I do want to get people's take on Memorial Day a little bit, like, what they think about it and how they feel. I don't want to get into too much politics about military and all that, because some people have issues with war and everything, and that's not where we're going. We're just basically going to talk about people who sacrificed themselves for our country. But okay, before I get too deep into that, the next thing I need to do is I need to put a saying on here. You don't have to, but I think it's kind of cool to have a little something on there. So this one, I actually put "Stay brave." I kind of did this to kind of keep it like in a vein, like for anybody. It didn't have to be related to Memorial Day, although this is a flag and whatnot. But "Stay brave" can kind of go through all the year, you know, for a person themselves, stay brave. So anybody have any ideas of what they would like me to write on this one? I was going to think about brave. I mean, I was something besides brave, fallen heroes, or like I said, if you wanted to be able to put this up for all year round, like you just like flags and they're kind of cool, and if you want to put a saying on there that wasn't, I'm going to do the age look after I do all this. The age look comes at the very, very end. So right now I'm just trying to think of a word. I had a word in my head earlier, but it went out my head. So you got any ideas, Medio? Let me see. Brave. How about Braveheart? You like Braveheart? I kind of like Braveheart. All right. So we'll do Braveheart. Okay. And that was an excellent movie, by the way. I'm sure most people saw that. You like Braveheart? I love Braveheart. All right. So now there are a couple ways to do this. I'm just going to freehand cursive this. You could use a stencil if you don't like to do your own handwriting. You can get like a little bitty stencil that's got something on it already. But I'm just going to go ahead and use a pencil, lightly use a pencil, and then I'll go over it, like I said, with my little liner brush. Let's see, Braveheart. My handwriting is really not the best. I'm actually making it look good. Braveheart. Let me see. Is that good? I think that's one word, right? Okay, Braveheart. So I just lightly put it on there like that. Okay. And I think it's centered pretty good. Of course, if it wasn't, you could always erase and go over it again. All right, now to do the color, I just realized I don't have my color with me. Oh, let me grab this right here. I got it close by. I'm going to use a burnt umber, which is a really, really dark brown on this one I got. And because I want this to stand out once we put the aged look over top of it. All right. I'm not going to need much. This is kind of a runny. This is you can see this one's pretty beat up. It's been around the ringer. Okay, so now let me tell you some things I found out about Memorial Day. I mean, you'd think as being a veteran, I should know this stuff, but I didn't know that much about it, honestly. So what's it really about? Well, of course, most people know it is the last Monday of May. It originated, let's see, I've got my little notes in my cheat sheets. Oh, I was going to say, yeah, does anybody actually have family or friends that were military, are military, or have lost their life in the service? I'd just be kind of curious to know. I actually, have a lot of veteran, of course, myself being a vet, but know a lot of vets, but I don't think I actually know of anybody that has personally lost their life in war. It is such a horrible thing. I mean, as much as I'm a vet, I really don't like war, to tell you the truth. All right, so I am basically, like I said, just freehanding this and trying to make it probably a little bit prettier as I paint it. But I'm using the small liner brush to do this. And this wood just soaks it up. It actually, it makes it bleed a little bit, but not too bad. And these are kind of fun to work with. It almost like doing like calligraphy. See, the pencil is just a basic guideline, and I'm winging it as I go along, making it look a little bit better. Oh, you have a brother who just retired. Navy, cool, Navy, yeah. Like I said, I was what's called a plane captain back then in the 80s. I don't know if they still call it that. And no, I did not fly planes. Basically, I launched and recovered aircraft on the flight line. That's what I did, and it was a pretty cool job. Hot, stinky, nasty job, but I learned a lot. I was hanging out with the guys all the time, being hot and sweaty, dealing with the pilots. Some of them were friendly and some of them weren't so friendly. You know what I mean? All right. So, yeah. So, anyway, back to Memorial Day and some facts about Memorial Day. Let's see. Heart. Yay. What do you think? Look all right? Looks okay, I guess. Proud of you. Oh, thanks. Proud of me. Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to say something about, I know, I got to talk about Memorial, being a vet. Okay, yeah, I did 4 years. I didn't do anything particular like great per se. I wasn't in war. I didn't get wounded. And I always kind of feel a little guilty when, those days come around, or when I go to Lowe's and I show them my veterans card and they're like, thank you for your service. And I'm like, well, thank you. Yeah. But I'm thinking I was a 19-year-old kid when I went in and I didn't know what I was doing with myself. So, but I did my 4 years and I was honorable and I got out. So, and they're like, no. The fact that you actually went in and you served was, you still should consider yourself a proud veteran, so I'm like, okay, but I'm never in the category for those that actually went over to war and, and got wounded or lost their life or even just went over there and came back. Some of them come back with a lot of, mental issues and things like that. My ex-husband, actually, he was Navy SEAL back during Vietnam days, and he actually got stabbed. He's got an interesting story, but, he's the type of guy that, got the Purple Heart and all that. He's the type that really should be like commended for the service, not somebody like me that just went in and worked on the flight line and got out after a few years. All right. So, okay. Braveheart. Let me see. I want to wait till that guy's dry. That's pretty much it, really, except for the aging process. This actually goes really fast. That didn't take too long at all, did it? So let me see. All play an important role in honorable part. Oh, thank you, Medio. But yeah, I just always have that little bit of a guilt trip there. But anyway, I tell you what, the one thing I love about it is the fact that I've got free medical for life. Yeah, I tell you what, I might have complained with those 4 years when I was younger, but my entire life, here I am 60 years old and I still got medical coverage. So can't beat that. It's worth 4 years of my life. All right. So let me see. What's the facts about it? It was originally known as Decoration Day. Yeah, Decoration Day, not Memorial Day. Started after the Civil War, which I didn't know that. And believe it or not, even though it was being like recognized as something people were doing every year, it actually wasn't a federal holiday till 1971. I had no clue. I thought that it would have been long before that, but they made it a federal holiday where they get the days off in 71. Let me see what officially marks. Oh, yeah. And like I said before, it kind of marks the beginning of summer, the summer solstice and everything starts happening. Actually, I think that's June 20 something, but everybody's so warm that most people consider it summer. Let me see. 1966, Waterloo, New York was the official birthplace of Memorial Day. And I thought that was kind of interesting. They mentioned something to do with slavery and the slaves had something to do to making it Waterloo, but I don't exactly know what that's about. But all I know is, kept my youth. Oh, yeah, well, thank you. You ought to see me in the morning. It's called makeup and smoke and mirrors, right? Okay. Anyway, thank you. Okay, let's get back to this, and I'll give you a few more facts in there. I think my Braveheart's dry enough now. Braveheart. Turn around so you can see it good. I'll actually leave it like that so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do here. Now, I could actually I think I used this color before, but I put a little bit of black in it. Hold up. Just a smidge of black. There's lots of way that you can age things. This is just a very quick way and simple too. So what I'm doing in black, oh my goodness, black goes like really super far. So you just want to have the smallest amount. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dry brush, and I do want it like crazy dry. Okay. It's kind of like when we were doing the stencil idea. Let me get this up here so you can see both. You're doing your stencil idea. Okay. All right. So I'm putting a little bit of that on there. and I'm going to get just a little bit of black in there and kind of make it like a gray mix. You can see I'm just kind of doing this number. Super, super dry, like really sticky, sort of, okay? Really, really little bit of paint. All right, now, this is always like a little bit of a scary part, it seems, when you do this. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go right over the top of this thing. I'm going to ruin it. But it really is not a big deal, okay? But you do need to know what you're doing, otherwise it could ruin it. So I'm just going to do a very light brush over the top, like a swift back and forth motion like that. And see, after you get your first coat on, you can kind of see like how much you need and what you got to play with. Okay, and you just mix in a little bit of that black in there to try to get that swashy look. Since this blue is so dark, you can kind of use the edge this way too if you want, but generally you go this way. Now I'm using more of the lighter tone on this black, on the blue, because you can't really see it. You don't really want to cover the whole thing up. You're just kind of doing it here and there. I've got a little brush stroke in there. I mean, a brush bristle. All right. So you get the idea? See how I'm just kind of dragging it? This is actually called like a dragging motion. That one's a little bit heavy right there. Here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a little bit of my, you can still do okay by leaving that on there, but see, look at this. If you get too much, you can just kind of wipe it off. That's another thing you can do, actually, is just kind of wipe it down if you put too much, and then you can go over it and do an age look that way. All right, so, all right. Let me see, what else did I need to tell you about Memorial Day? Oh, well, another thing that's associated with Memorial Day is the cemetery, right? What cemetery would that be? That would be Arlington Cemetery, right? Arlington Cemetery in Washington, D.C. And, you know, that's where all of the veterans, if they want to be, I mean, even me, if I wanted to be, I could actually be buried in Arlington Cemetery. I'm like, I'm not really into that for me, but I mean, that's totally cool, you know. Anyway, so there you kind of getting the idea. I'm going to put a little bit more black in there. Just kind of gives it like a worn out kind of a texture. Now, here's the thing. When you're learning something new like this as a technique, you can use it on other things. You know, any type of little piece that you might be working on, you can actually use a similar type of technique to paint furniture and make it look old and aged by doing this. And like I said, there's lots of ways to age things down and give it that look, but this is just one little quick way. Oh, your mom's dad is buried there. Oh, awesome. That's cool. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been to the Arlington Cemetery? I have not. I've never even been to Washington D.C., excuse me. I've been to Washington State, but not Washington, D.C. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I knew a friend up in North Carolina, an older man who was a vet, and he ended up, he wanted to be buried up there. So his wife took him up there. Okay, so you can kind of see how this dry look is giving that real aged effect. And I'll hold it up a little closer when I get a chance. Oh, you just drove by? Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, Arlington, of course, they have ceremonies there, you know, during Memorial Day, and I'm sure Veterans Day and all that too. Now, you know, aging is just a matter of like how much you want to put on there. You don't want to overdo it. It's just like a light touch. But you see, another thing that's important for you to know that when you're doing this is that you want to go with the grain of the wood. I did forget to mention that in the beginning. You definitely want to go with the grain of the wood. If you go opposite, it's going to look like a hot mess. And think about, if you look at like a piece of old age wood, when it starts splitting, everything gets all the nasty dirt and everything gets inside the crevices of the run of the wood. So that's why it's important to make sure that you're doing your dry brushing in the swipe, in the run of the wood. There you go. I better stop it while I'm ahead. I might end up putting too much on there. That little spot kind of bugs me, but I don't know. Let's see if I can fix that by putting a little blue over here. Just don't want to go over my stars on it. Make a mess on that. think that's pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? See, when you hold it up close, you can actually see how it got a little bit in the grain right there. And it basically, and even in here, see, up in the wood grain, just got a little bit of an aged look. Actually, on the other one, I did it a little bit more. I made it a little bit more aged. And like I said, you can preference. If you want to make it a little bit more, you just add a little bit more on top of it. I think I will take that down a smidge more. Uh-oh. The one thing you do not want to do is I just dipped my brush into the water to clean it off. And if you're doing this and you're doing dry brush, you want to make sure that you have a really, really dry brush so you clean that booger really good. Okay, you get it nice and dry, because otherwise your water is going to end up like watercolor and it'll make a really big mess all over your piece. You'll just ruin everything. And you want to make sure you're not around any water areas like wet paint. It's got to be really super dry. Okay, so a little bit more. We're going to call it good. Now, there's one other thing that's associated with Memorial Day. One other thing. It's actually red, and it's not the flag. Can you think what the other thing is that's related? You usually see, how I associate it with, you usually see the older, I'll look up for this one. You usually see the older vets, like at Walmart or out on the street, and they're passing them out for Memorial Day. What is it? What is it? Anybody tell me what those are? Come on. They're a flower. Hint, hint, hint. Red. And I guess they're actually like, you could get popped on a drug test with them, from what I've heard. Poppy seeds. Yeah, poppy flowers. The poppy flower. Okay. So I don't know what. There's something about the poppy seeds that show up on drug tests, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I've never had to deal with that, but that's what I've heard. I'm just kind of going around and touching up the sides here just because I can and I want to, and I think it looks a little bit cleaner. But I'm going to show you something. See how I'm doing it? I'm not touching up the side. I'm leaving the area where the lighter color is. I'm not doing that. I'm just painting where the paint colors are. That way it looks consistent on the end. Like, so you don't have to do that, but I just think it makes it a little bit cleaner. It doesn't even have to be perfect because this is like an age look. So the more worn out looking it is, it just kind of adds to it. This one's, kind of beat up. So I'm just going to go around and finish that blue off, and then we're pretty much done. Oh, you'll take one. A poppy seed or a drug test. I don't know. What do you want? What are you talking about? What do you want? The poppy seeds? The poppy flower? Okay. So this is actually really nice. I love having this music. Oh God, it just helps my creativity flow so much better. And I'm glad that you can hear it too. Oh, you'll take a poppy? Okay, I gotcha. Poppy seeds are really good. I love them, like on bagels and stuff. But I've always heard, if you got to go for a drug test or anything like that, make sure that you don't eat poppy seeds beforehand. All right, I think I'm pretty much done. There we go. Got my edges all cleaned up. So we got us a Braveheart Memorial flag door hanger or wall hanger. And the last thing, I guess I'll go ahead and do that since we're here and I'm feeling all the love, is I'm going to go ahead and put this little guy back on here. Like I said, they come from the Dollar Tree with them already on there, and I'm just going to pop this guy back on. And then you can figure out what I'm going to do with that. I guess I can hang this one up actually on my door outside. Oh, speaking of outside, now this paint I used, this one was the multi, I forgot to mention the paint. These are acrylic paints, and this is the multi-surface, which means that it's really good for outside. Some of them are a little bit more durable than others, but if a person did want this to be outside and it was going to be exposed to the weather, I would definitely put a clear coat on it. For this, you could just get the clear spray coat, like out of a can, and spray it on there. Thank you. It came out awesome. Yeah, I do like it. I think pretty good. You can put the clear coat on it, and but you want to do it on the front and the back. Okay. See, I should probably paint my back, look a lot cleaner. But by the way, if you were going to present this as a gift to someone, definitely paint your back so it looks better. And then you could sign it, put something to love, blah, 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 blah. But I always, whenever I used to do things like either custom work for somebody or whatever it might be, because I used to have a business where I would go into people's homes and do decorative art and paint their walls and do faux painting. And I would always make sure that I got every little area, back, front, and everything, just to make it look really super clean and more professional. All right, so you can even just paint it black on the back or whatever, but just see, since you got paint all over it, you definitely want to make it look a little bit cleaner if you were going to give it as a gift and you cared, what they're going to think. Okay, well, that is about it for tonight. Oh, I did want to share a couple of things while I'm on. Like I said, because some of you guys, even if you didn't pop on during this, you might be able to, hey, looky who's there. Add the stream. I put you on camera. Well, you look dark. Well, there you go. You look better.
I'm working.
Hey, you're not working. You're relaxing. You worked all day today. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just finishing up. What do you think about it? You like it?
Nice.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. All right. So one of the things I wanted to give a little quick shout out here is I do have a class, like I said, tomorrow night, same time, same back channel. I'm going to be doing this really cool tiki painting with Danita. Since she didn't show up tonight, she better have her booty here tomorrow. And she will be, because we talked about it already today. But so we're going to be doing that together, and it's going to be a lot of fun with the tiki. He got all the Amadio. He's reading. I don't know if you can see the comments. He's saying you got all the vitamin D because of your color working outside your skin. Yeah. All right. So anyway, like I said, anybody wants to come join me on this little guy? This is my really cool, fun. God, camera. There we go. There we go. This is actually made out of clothespins, believe it or not. And I think this thing is so stinking cute. I love this thing. So anybody wants to hop on, this is actually going to be a paid class, believe it or not. It's through Zoom because it's going to be private. It's not going to be live. But I'll give you a little bit of material list. It only takes a few things to run to Walmart and grab your materials. And the class is only $10, guys, just $10 through Zoom. So you can make this as a really cool gift. You can customize it with different colors. You can add a different saying on the wood, whatever you want to do. You make it your own. But that's going to be next, not this Friday night, June 4th, Friday. Okay. So that's what that's going on. You can sign up on my Crafting with Kim page on the events for that one. Another one, I wanted to kind of give a little shout out. This is another patriotic thing. It's down the road, but since I was doing flags, I figured I'd show this anyway. This is the cutest little thing ever. This is believe it or not, this is actually a wood piece, just like these little guys. Where'd it come from? Dollar Tree. Yeah. All right. So this is going to be for 4th of July. And there's a lot of elements involved with this because it's actually on a canvas and a frame with painting a truck and that. So I'm going to have a lot of, it needs to be more of a tutorial, like a private class, because there's a lot of things to teach on this. Once again, $10. That'll be right before 4th of July. All right. So that's about all I'm going to throw at you tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little flag tutorial. And I hope everybody, during the course of the weekend, even though you might be out there having fun or whatever, take a minute and just think about your veterans. Think about the ones that actually lost their life for our country and honor them. Okay. All right. You're making a lot of noise there, buddy. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you out because you're noisy. All right. All right, guys. Love everybody. Hope to see everybody tomorrow night or in one of my other future events real soon. Bye-bye. God bless. All right. How do I get out of this thing? End broadcast.